Good morning, friends. I'm Diane, and welcome to my farmstead dream. It's early. I'm still trying to get the sleep out of my brain. But we're out here in the garden, and it's July, and we can still plant some things. But first, I want to show you the garden because it's kind of a complete disaster. Not really a disaster, but it's very messy. And I'll show you why. And then we're going to get some things planted. So let's get started. So first off, I pulled my potatoes over the weekend. I let the grandbabies help me. I told them it was a treasure hunt. And they had fun for about 2 minutes. And then they were done with it. So I finished the rest of it myself. And then in the process, I had taken note of some of the cabbages that just weren't doing really anything at all. And so some of them I had to pull to get my potatoes. But it's just, I mean, you can see where I've pulled the potatoes and dumped some compost in here. Well, my oldest granddaughter dumped the compost in here. Not ideally where I wanted it, but it's okay because it is what it is, and it's in the garden anyway, so it doesn't matter. So yes, it's a little messy. Look, I had some black-eyed Susans that popped up back there. And check out these sunflowers. They're getting really, really big. And this one, for some reason, something ate the top off of it. Can you see that? See there? So I don't know if that one will flower. But anyways, so I need to try and pull some more of these cabbages that have just kind of petered out and aren't really doing anything. These cabbages, they're looking okay, but I don't really know how long I need to leave them in here. And my sweet potato vines are kind of taking over, but I'm okay with that because they provide some ground cover and you know, give it some mulchability or whatever. The herbal bed is still just as wild as it was, and my cucumbers are dying. And I had planted some more cucumber seeds. Look at how glorious those sunflowers are. Can you see that big one over there? I'm telling you, that one's probably 16, 17 foot tall. It is huge. And I know you probably can't tell from this perspective, but it is huge. Look, we got a visitor. Yeah, it's beautiful. And look at that one. So anyways, I'm gonna get some things kind of pulled out this morning, and then we're gonna plant some potatoes. Oh, and what I was saying was my cucumbers have kind of petered out, if you can see. And so I had planted some more in a row right down here, and they were doing okay, and then they died. So I don't know if it's the heat, because oh man, we've had some hot temperatures. Today we're supposed to be in the triple digits with our heat index. That's why I'm out early this morning. It's already 75 degrees plus at this time of the morning. So, and my sunshine's not feeling very good today, so he's home from work, which is very rare. The man never doesn't go to work, so doesn't feel great today. But anyways, so let's just get started. I'm going to try and plant some cucumbers and some more dill, because my dill just didn't pop up like I wanted it to. And I'm going to show you, because I harvested this weekend, and I'll show you what I got from my harvest. So this is part of my harvest so far. I have some jalapeno peppers, gypsy sweet, Tabasco, a cucumber, that big pepper's a cubanelle, banana peppers, some green beans, and some tiny little cabbages. But that's not all. Look at all my tomatoes. And my cherry tomatoes, which we've eaten a lot of already. Have some basil. And then here is my garlic harvest. I didn't get a great harvest of garlic, but it was my first year growing it. It was a learning experience, so it was worth it to me anyway. I've gotten a few heads of cabbage, and then look at all the potatoes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little baskets of potatoes. And I have herbs galore that I need to harvest and hang up to dry. So that will be another project. So I have some potatoes here that I have chitted and let them scab over. And I'm going to plant those in the garden because in July there are still lots of things that you can plant.
Now let's get to planting some potatoes. And while I'm planting my potatoes, I was just going to give you guys a brief list of plants or starts that you can plant in July. Things like beans, zucchini, squash, cucumbers, carrots. But if you plant carrots, you need to plant them by mid-July. Also onions, leeks, peas, beets. The peas you will want to plant in order to get a fall harvest. Collards. Some say you can plant tomatoes in July. However, tomatoes, only plant them if your temperatures are going to go below 90 degrees or the fruits won't set. So you can kind of decide if you can plant tomatoes with that little piece of information. Other things you can plant: eggplant, kohlrabi, summer and winter squash. You can do some seedlings for broccoli. They don't like the 90-degree weather either, and that's what we have here in East Tennessee right now, and it's only June, which means we will continue to have those high temperatures for several more weeks. I plan on planting some broccoli in the garage under my grow lights so that they can stay a little bit cooler than out in the direct sun, so that I can get some in the ground for the fall harvest. Other things you can plant in July include cabbage, cauliflower, the same as the broccoli. You'll want to go ahead and plant those seeds, but keep them in a cooler place so that you can plant them out for fall. You can do corn, okra, Brussels sprouts, pumpkins. Now pumpkins have a long growing season, so you'll need pumpkins that have a shorter growing seed, kind of like the little baby jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. Those have a shorter growing season, so you can grow some of those. And I think I plan on getting some of those in the ground because I like to decorate with those little baby pumpkins. You can also go ahead and plant seeds for your Asian greens, things like your choys, like bok choy, pak choy, Asian cabbages, things like that. You can also, in July, plant some greens like chard, spinach, kale, lettuce, things like that. You can also plant some herbs in July. Some of the herbs that you can plant are cilantro. If, again, you can keep them cooler, I would suggest trying to grow them in a shadier area. They still need, their 6 hours of full sun, but they would appreciate some shade to combat the heat of the hot summer. So just be sure you make concessions for that. Other herbs you can plant are basil, parsley, oregano, rosemary, chives, dill, sage, thyme, and tons of other ones. I'm not going to name them all, but there are a lot of herbs that you can plant now in July. Also planting tomatillos. You can plant watermelons and cantaloupes. And of course potatoes. And then you can also do radishes as well. So there are tons of things that you can plant in July, even if you're getting your garden started late. You know, like even if you're just now in July deciding, hey, I'd like to plant a garden. It's okay, go ahead and plant it. You may not get as large of a harvest as you would have if you had started earlier in the spring, but that's okay because you still get food, you know, and that's what's most important, is to grow food. And even if you don't get that big huge harvest, you know, or a bumper crop, it's okay because you at least have some organically grown food that you grew in your own garden, no matter if it is July. I love being out in the garden in the early mornings and listening to all the birds and critters starting their day with their beautiful songs and noises. It's so relaxing, so very peaceful, and I am truly enjoying their company while I am planting my potatoes and working in the garden. I've also done some research, and I read that my cabbages, once it gets to, you know, really high temperatures like we are having here in East Tennessee, your cabbages kind of aren't going to grow anymore, and I was wondering about that, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the rest of the cabbages out of the garden so that I can make space to grow some more of the other things that I just listed in that long list of yummy food you can plant in July. So I'll go ahead and get those cabbages pulled and processed, and yeah, we'll just plant some more good stuff. And here I know it looks like I've just been sitting in one spot for a long time, but I'm actually planting potatoes in multiple areas right in that one spot, and I'm just kind of reaching down the garden bed, and I found some extra potatoes that I missed when we were digging up our treasures. So these are onions that I had planted between the cabbages and the potatoes just for pest control. I'm going to go ahead and pull these onions because they're barely hanging on anyway. And yeah, they're a little small, but I'm okay with that because they serve their purpose. And I need this space to be able to plant some more potatoes in. So, and then there's one right here. I don't even know what he looks like. He's buried pretty good. Yeah, he's tiny too. But again, I'm okay with that because they did what I wanted them to do, which was pest control for the potatoes. Let's try to plant some more cucumbers. Y'all, I have this volunteer vinca popping up everywhere. I love it. Nothing better than free plants, right? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pop a few cucumber seeds in here. See what we get. Maybe I'm going too deep with them. Maybe they just need to be on the surface. However, I have a problem with the birds trying to eat my seeds.
I went inside just now to get my cucumber seeds, and I came back out and there was a bird trying to dig up one of my potatoes. Do birds eat potatoes? There, all done. Let's try again. I'll soak it down. These squashes and zucchinis died. I don't know what the problem is this year with my squash and zucchini. If y'all have any tips, because I've always been able to grow squash and zucchini so easy, and this year it's just not happening. So leave some comments and let me know if you have any tips for squash and zucchini. So I'm going to pull these and put something else in their place, because there's no sense in them taking up, you know, room in the bed if they're not going to grow. So we'll go ahead and I'm just leaving the debris in here, because that will help feed the garden. I have planted more squash and zucchini in here, and I got really good germination, but they don't like to be transplanted. But I'm going to try it anyway, just so I can try and get more plants, since they're dying off so quickly and I'm only getting a few zucchini or squash from them. I haven't gotten one single zucchini this year, which is very odd. I also planted some more spaghetti squash seeds, and they have germinated. So I'm going to spread them out a little bit. You see that little booger? I think he's causing problems. Okay, so we have everything moved and transplanted. I'm not going to do a whole lot more work in the garden today, because I'm literally pouring water off of my body because I'm sweating so bad. So it's hot out here already. But I do want to show you these. I had some volunteer tomatoes that started in my front beds, and so I had to prune them. They're not producing yet, but maybe they will. But I just stuck what I pruned in here, and it looked like they died, but now they're starting to show signs of new life. So I'm gonna let them grow. And in this container here, I'm going to go ahead and plant some more lettuces. I know it's really hot for lettuce, but I'm just going to see if I can get any to grow, because I hate having to buy lettuce from the grocery store. Maybe the birds will leave them alone. They've been digging everywhere. And then look, I didn't plant potatoes in here, but somehow there are potatoes growing in here, so I'm just going to leave them and let them grow. And then look at how big those onions are. Ooh, and let me show you this carrot. Let me see if I can get to it without causing too much problems. Look at how big this carrot is, y'all. Do you see it? Look, there's another one that big. I'm so excited about these carrots, especially being that I didn't think I was going to get any carrots this season. So super excited about those, and those are doing good too. So I've got everything planted and transplanted. Now all that's left to do is to water, and then I'll be going inside for the rest of the day because it is super duper hot already. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that I gave you some good tips about things that you can still plant in July. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, leave me comments, help me with my zucchini and squash, y'all. I'm struggling, and I guess I'll just see y'all in the next video. Big hugs.